Today I am going to share a new story about Walt Disney. It's unforgettable Walt Disney. This story about Disneyland and this is a very historical story about Disneyland and Mickey Mouse cartoon series. So let's get started about Walt Disney brother Roy Disney. So start by My Brother Walt is No More. It has infused the liver and like a living person over the studio where he turned out the cartoon nature films and future movies that made him known and loved around the world. Even now, as I walk around the studio crowd, I have expect to announce that tall country boy and the fingerhead browed and the thought about some new project. Walt so much he Walt so much the drive famous behind all we did, from making movies to building Disneyland that people conversing mention his name as we're still alive every time we show a new picture, no new open future at Disneyland. Someone he brown to say, I would how Walt would like it. And when this happens, I promisely resolved that it was something he himself and planned for my imagination, my ideas, my elders but brother left in front the project in progress to keep the rest of us busy for many years. Walt was a complex man. It to the writers, producers, and animation who worked with him. He was a genius who had an explanation ability and extra talk about himself to any story or idea. To the million of people who watched his TV show, he was a worthy, kindly, and personality bring fun and purpose into their house. To the like wild man, he'll burnt for a brick pound to the me. He was my amazing kid brother, full form impossible dreams that he made come true. The apple achieved and weeping Williams stand a green beautiful at our old farm where Walt sketch his first animal and I really have Walt and I would stranger together he bed and her the humanly vested of Lomenstric presses in the night. Our uncle Milk was an engineering and has brown and has wisdom along and too short just for us. Walt never lost his love for trains. Year later, an old-fashionable train as was one of the first attraction of Disneyland. As far back as can remember, Walt was the drawing. The first among many he ever made was a nickel. One nickel. One nickel mane five center. Five one nickel from a sketch of a Nicholas house, neighbor's house. He studio cartooning and studies in cartooning series in a study about Chicago, and they start a little limited cartoon company in Kansas City that flop, and I was lost I was lost against when Walt just 21 described to try his luck in Hollywood. I met him at the station. He was carrying a cheap suitcase that country all the has uh, all his luggage. We borrowed $500 from his uncle, and Walt started a cartoon series called Elika in the Cartoon Land. It was a touch going. Walt did all the animation and carded the old-fashioned camera. The old camera cartoon didn't make the much for a space, so Walt started a new series called Oswald the Rabbit. Oswald did better, but Walt went to New York, described for more money. He ran into trouble. What kind of the daily did you make, kid? I asked. We haven't got a deal. What? What? Walt say. Admit the decide distribute, copyright. Oswald and has talking over the series himself. Stranger, Walt did not seem downloaded. We going to start a new series. He entered the has about a mouse and has time of new oven to the mouse. The rest him has history. Walt's mouse name is Mickey. Is celebrated 14th birthday in 1968 and a happy 40th. It was a very quietly all of a billion people saw the Disney movie in 1968 and 100 million watched a Disney TV show. Nearly a billion read a Disney book or magician, and almost 10 million visited Disneyland. And the Mickey, as was Walt used to say, started it all. Mickey was only the first successful product of Walt. Much imagination of ability has make his dream become the reality. Is it was not observe ledge of a small observe when you start a row a birds and his mission about World Camp and told him the story of Pinchao, and which he was making at the time. When Walt told a story, it was a window and a performance as I required. The explanation has rebounds the rose and field and has hand moved with her grace of the musician and the foundation. Young Roy was where the ad and Walt gripped the trailing of the fair of title of his movie. Forget all the about his marination and the little when he showed the finished picture. He was the certainly disappointed. It didn't seem the expecting as a woo when Uncle Walt told it. He said, like many people who work to create a human, Walt took it very seriously. He would often the gromily thoughts and functioned cartoon and COVID to some way to improve it. Walt was value and operating to thoughts, working with him has but finally judgment was always equally as, and Walt Disney was imagination for the cartoon series and Disney plus Hotstar. Walt is become a truth and such a nice man, and his history almost successful in his life. He never give up and his life and never give up his dismiss and her situation are always that protect and her life. So we are close this page. Thank you.